a hero's homecoming for a Brooklyn Center soldier. What makes his homecoming even more special? But first, an ugly ending to a soccer game with a lot on the line. The end of the match between Prairie Siege Academy and Totino-Grace spirals out of control. And now local police are taking a look. 12 News starts right now. It was a scene that left a crowd of soccer fans and parents stunned.
Police are investigating an on-the-field brawl that broke out Thursday night in the final seconds of a high school soccer game. The matchup between Totino-Grace and Prairie Seeds Academy was supposed to determine who would advance to the state tournament. Now Maple Grove police are involved. It was a rematch from last year with a trip to the state tournament on the line. In the final seconds, Prairie Seeds Academy in the white is up 2-1 versus Totino-Grace. But as the game ends, the tension erupts into an on-field fight. What starts as a push, then a punch between opposing players quickly escalates. The Totino-Grace coach and others go in to pull players apart, but then the coach gets a punch to the head from the Prairie Seeds goalie. As the numbers on the field grow, the Prairie Seeds goalie goes in for one last kick. Today, Maple Grove police are involved.
It was an in-progress call of a report of an injury to one of the players, and that's what we're investigating at this point.
Captain Keith Terlinden says it's too early to say whether any arrests will be made or any criminal charges will result.
Depending on the severity of the injuries is depending on what we would charge, and I don't know what that is at this point.
We do know at least one player from Totino-Grace has a couple of stitches from a punch. The Totino athletic director says the whole point of the game is now lost.
These are teams that are very talented. They've worked really hard. They played a great competitive game. And unfortunately, right now, nobody's talking about that part.
Parents we spoke with declined any on-camera comment pending the investigation. Friday afternoon, the Minnesota State High School League said it is investigating the incidents as well and hopes to reach a conclusion on Monday. And we want to bring in Channel 12's Jay Wilcox. He was doing the play-by-play for this game.
And Jay, you saw firsthand what happened. Things obviously got out of control at the end. Did you see this building throughout the game?
There was definitely some tension between the two teams throughout the night, and even actually dating maybe back to last year. Things got pretty contentious at the end of their section championship game in there, but you were hopeful that things would break apart without much more happening. Obviously did not work out that way.
Now, you've been calling games, doing play-by-play for 25 years, local high school games. Have you ever seen anything like this happen on the field?
I've seen a fight or two, but I would have to say without a doubt this was the worst. And the thing that got a lot of people concerned too was it maybe wasn't just the 11 players on the field that all got involved. You can see people on the sideline kind of mixing in just because of where it happened.
Now, we could probably hear from the high school league on Monday, but if suspensions are forthcoming, what would that do to the state championship run by Prairie Siege?
Certainly can't help, and it's not a thing that they would enjoy happening. I mean, obviously we don't know at this point if any players could possibly be suspended out of it. It would not help their cause, obviously, and also having just to kind of deal with the fallout of it isn't going to be a lot of fun, I would guess, for the Lycans too.
All right, Jay, thank you very much, and we'll hear more from you a little later on in sports.
That's right.
All right, thanks. Well, there were harsh words and now an apology following a radio debate involving two local candidates who are running for Congress. Republican candidate Chris Fields accused Keith Ellison of hiring a company to dig up dirt on Fields' relationship with his ex-wife. Here is part of the exchange on KFAI radio, starting with Chris Fields.
They took that money and gave it to this Washington, D.C. firm and started looking through my divorce. And what they found was a statement that my ex-wife had never given me, and she issued a statement saying, hey, it was a deeply troubling period.
You're real stupid
now,
for bringing up your domestic violence allegations.
I wasn't
going to say a thing about it.
You know what?
I wasn't
you want to talk about divorce,
I don't want to talk
about your own. Talk about the fact that you only pay $500 for child support. Talk about that. You use that money to hurt my ex-wife, who I still love.
Congressman Ellison declined an interview today, but released a statement saying, quote, in response to my opponent's false statement, I made an uncivil reference to him. I should not have done so. He said, I acted beneath my personal standard as a public official, and I apologize. Today, Chris Fields was not apologizing.
I can't apologize for the congressman's violent outburst.
What I can say, though, is that this is not new behavior. This is par for the course. When he called the Republican Party a bigoted party, when he is on social media and he's being irresponsible on social media with some of the tweets, this is the frenzy that he gets himself into.
Ellison and Fields had been scheduled for another debate again next week, but that has now changed to separate interviews instead. A Brooklyn Center soldier returned home this week after serving our country in Afghanistan.
But what made Marco Solt's homecoming even more special is how close he came to not making it back at all. Here's Delane Cleveland with more.
Feels great, just being able to be around friends and family again, you know.
Just 4 years ago, Marco Solt was a defensive end at Cooper High School. Shortly after graduation, he joined the Army. He met his wife, Gina, while stationed in Germany, and then was sent off to Afghanistan, where he performed a dangerous yet important mission.
We just drive down the road, look for IDs, get rid of them.
Thursday morning,
it's really nice to have them back here.
Marco returned home to Brooklyn Center.
It feels really good to be back.
That's especially true considering what Marco's been through.
I mean, that's pretty much all that's worth showing. The rest just goes up my leg, but same on this one too.
While on the lookout for IEDs on May 1st, a bomb exploded and sent the truck in which he was riding toppling over.
I undid my seatbelt. I fell over, and when I was propping myself up, that's when I realized that, oh well, that probably ain't too good, you know what I mean? My legs were gone.
He and the rest of his unit got out of the truck, and within an hour, he was at the hospital undergoing surgery.
My initial reaction was he lost them all the way up to his waist. And at that point in time, you don't know. You know, you've got so many things going through your mind.
Marco only lost his legs up to his knees. But while in the hospital at Bagram Air Force Base, he received a special visit from President Obama, who awarded him the Purple Heart.
And he could have just easily, you know, here's a Purple Heart picture, see you later. But he sat down and talked to us, so that was pretty cool.
Oh, absolutely. I've got the pictures posted on my desk at work.
Now, after spending several months recovering, he's fitted with prosthetic legs and a positive outlook on life.
For one, I don't want to let my buddies down that are still in Afghanistan, because they're still there. And I don't want to let any of my family down and make it seem like, oh, you know, poor me. I don't want that at all.
In Brooklyn Center, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Sammy's Pizza in Brooklyn Park will host a welcome home celebration for Marco on October 27th. The Minnesota Patriot Guard will start the event at 11 o'clock in the morning, and a percentage of the day's sales will be donated to Marco to help with his recovery.
We have more ahead on 12 News, including advice on picking out the perfect Halloween pumpkin.
And later in sports, the Cooper football team gets set for a playoff run after a strong regular season.
But first, it's your AccuWeather forecast.
Pumpkins are the ultimate symbol of fall.
You can eat them, carve them, or put them on display. Renee Bonneau goes in the garden this week for tips on what to look for when you head to the pumpkin patch.
We have a large selection for fall decoration.
At the Twin Cities Harvest Festival in Mays in Brooklyn Park, jack-o'-lantern pumpkins are just the beginning.
It's over 8 to 10 different kinds of varieties, and it's all from different sizes and different colors.
Owner Bert Bauman sells big orange pumpkins, white ones, and greenish blue.
It's becoming more popular finding different colors and to add to the fall experience for decorations.
You'll even find the pink pumpkin, a new variety with a light pink tinge grown just in time for Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Bauman says 25 cents of each pink pumpkin sold goes towards breast cancer research.
The pink pumpkin is edible and ornamental, but not every pumpkin serves the same purpose.
This is just decoration.
So ask the seller what each gourd is good for. When you decide on what type you want, make sure you pick a healthy one that hasn't been exposed to frost.
The flesh of the pumpkin has a consistency. The frost gets in there, disrupts that, and then disturbs that, and creating ability for mold to get in, and then that's create a soft spot, and that will rot in no time.
Bauman says feel all the way around a pumpkin and make sure the stem is still tightly secured. Once you get it home, keep an eye on the weather. If the temperature drops below 25 degrees and your pumpkin is outside, cover it or put it in the garage to prevent frost damage.
A very popular one are the mini pumpkins.
Bauman says if you follow these easy steps, you'll have great-looking gourds to last you through Halloween. In Brooklyn Park, Renee Bonneau, 12 News.
And Bauman says if you want jack-o'-lanterns to look their best on Halloween, don't carve them until about 4 days before October 31st. I don't think I've ever seen green or pink pumpkins. Must be new.
Me either.
Well, coming up, more on that contentious Prairie Seeds Totino-Grace soccer match.
Jay Wilcox recaps all of the highlights before the melee broke out. We're back in 2 minutes.
Jay Wilcox is back, and there was a pretty good soccer match before all the problems yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. You know, people kind of lose that in the shuffle a little bit, that the championship was on the line, and it actually was a very good soccer match. The brawl at the conclusion of Thursday's Prairie Seeds Totino-Grace boys soccer game overshadowed what had been a pretty exciting game that was not decided until very late in the contest. Unbeaten Prairie Seeds hadn't been challenged all season. Off a dead ball restart, Ismaila Jones' free kick catches the Grace defense off guard, and Munir Darbaki gets to it and chips it in for a 1-0 lead. Grace ties it up with a disputed goal. The long pass ahead here, and Ryan Zerbe pushes the defender out of the way to get to the ball. His shot is stopped, but he puts the rebound away, and that one makes it 1-1. Brandon Hilliard robs Darbaki with 2 great saves right here. And the Lycan mascot sees a 1-1 tie at halftime. Still tied with 2.5 minutes left when Roberto Dominguez crosses it to Jome, and his header is in. His 29th of the season makes it 2-1 as Prairie Seeds wins before the brawl. It was nice to have a close game.
I mean, it was actually fun. I mean, other games we usually, our lowest scoring game was 6-1 prior to this. And it's fun to actually play an exciting team that can compete with us.
After all of that tension, the Totino-Grace girls faced Monticello for the 5A girls title. Scoreless in the first half, Grace is in white, and Grace Steinhauser's first try knocked down. She puts the second one in, and the Eagles grab a 1-0 lead. In the second half, Steinhauser will strike again. Watch her sneak this one just inside the goalpost. Totino-Grace beats Monticello for the 5A championship by a score of 2-0. The Eagles are headed to state. The regular season is in the books in high school football. The Cooper Hawks hope to continue their strong season with a deep playoff run. The Hawks went 6-2 during the regular season, and that's the most regular season wins for Cooper since 1985. Though they'd like to have the losses to Benilde and Spring Lake Park back, it's definitely a season to be proud of.
It's exciting. We're not satisfied with 6-2. We should be 8-0, but it's like a big step for this program going forward into next year's, and the next year's it's going to get a lot of kids coming in here to play sports and football.
You know, we take our wins and we're excited about them, obviously, and the losses. You know, it's a great thing for us to have some losses because we've learned so much in those 2 losses, and to be able to be 6-2, end up the regular season, I think it's the best record we've had since at least 1990. So I think the kids are excited and motivated.
Cooper is in Class 4A for the playoffs for the first time. The Hawks are the number 2 seed behind unbeaten De La Salle in Section 6. They'll face Park Center in the quarterfinals Tuesday.
Yeah, we know they play hard teams, and we know that they're an athletic team, and we know they have athletes on their team. We just have to come out and ball as hard as we can.
The Park Center Cooper game will be our first football playoff telecast here on Channel 12. While Cooper and many local football teams start playoff competition Tuesday, the Class 6A teams get started next Friday. Maple Grove is the number 1 seed in Section 5 of Class 6A with Osseo 2nd and Champlain Park 3rd. Brainerd is the only non-Northwest Suburban Conference team in the section. Next Friday, it's Maple Grove hosting Coon Rapids, Osseo hosts Anoka, and Champlain Park is at home against Centennial. In Section 6 of 6A, Wayzata is the number 2 seed behind Lake Conference champ Edina, with Eden Prairie at number 3. Hopkins is 4th and Armstrong 8th. The Falcons are at Edina next Friday with Wayzata hosting South and Hopkins hosting rival Minnetonka in a rematch of their regular season finale. Totino-Grace is the top seed in Section 4 of Class 5A with North Suburban Conference champ Spring Lake Park in the number 2 spot. Keep an eye on number 6 Andover. They gave both Osseo and Grace all they could handle in close losses. As we said, Cooper is number 2 behind De La Salle in Section 6 in 4A. Benilde is number 4 and Park Center number 7. The Pirates again visit Cooper on Tuesday. Providence Academy didn't have as strong of a regular season as last year, but the Lions are the top seed in Section 2 of Class 3A. BRAC is the 4th seed. The Mustangs host Rockford Tuesday, and Providence has a bye into the semifinals. So we're getting to playoff time in quite a few sports now.
All right, thanks a lot, Jay.
You're welcome.
Moving on to Local Vote 2012, we wrap up our look at candidates running for City Council in Plymouth.
Today, 2 incumbents, and they are each unopposed. Judy Johnson is running in Ward 1 and Bob Stein in Ward 3.
Hi, I'm Judy Johnson, your Ward 1 Plymouth City Council member. I've worked hard over the years to ensure that Plymouth remains a great place to live, work, and play. Plymouth is a well-run city with strong fiscal oversight. Our city is innovative, collaborative, and efficient with hard-earned taxpayer dollars. It's important that Plymouth maintains its enviable AAA bond rating. Northwest Plymouth continues to grow as people want to be part of this great community. I'm committed to seeing that roads and infrastructure are planned for and built to meet increasing demands in this area. I will continue to support development of the Northwest Greenway, building a wonderful park system for generations to enjoy well into the future. I'm committed to keeping Plymouth safe and providing high-quality services that our residents and businesses expect and demand. Thank you for allowing me to be your voice on the Plymouth City Council. I ask again for your vote on November 6th.
Hi, my name is Bob Stein, and I'm seeking re-election to the Plymouth City Council from Ward 3. It's been my honor to serve the citizens of Plymouth for the past 12 years, and I would like to continue. My family and I have lived in Plymouth for 22 years. I graduated from the University of Minnesota with degrees in architecture and business, and I'm a small business owner. Over the past 12 years, I've worked to keep our city taxes low with a fair and balanced budget. I will continue to balance growth and development with the needs of neighborhoods and continue to work on upgrading our city streets. I will also work on upgrading our trails, open space, and to protect our lakes and wetlands. I ask that you vote for me, Bob Stein, on November 6th for Plymouth City Council Ward 3. Thank you.
And still ahead, call it an amazing salute to our troops.
We will be right back. And finally, we head back to the Twin Cities Harvest Festival and Maze in Brooklyn Park.
Each year, owner Bert Bauman picks a theme for his corn maze. This year, he created a tribute to Minnesota's military families. The design features an image of the flag raising at Iwo Jima. There's even a pumpkin slinging game, watch this, that carries a military theme. Bauman says a portion of every ticket sold for his maze will go to the Minnesota Military Family Foundation that supports families of deployed troops. The maze is open this weekend and next, and it's right along Highway 169 on the north end of Brooklyn Park.
Popular spot. He always does something creative. The Twins last year, I
That's
believe
right.
it was.
That was neat. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Community Corner is coming up next.